Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see who was here first. Maurice Brown, thank you very much. Jetstar, thank you for being here. Elaine Parker. Uh oh. I can only imagine why you're here, but thank you so much. As always, appreciate you being here. Let's see. Ispy, thank you very much. Oh, well, thank you for being there. And thank you for the super chat. Oh, super chat. And Elaine Parker, thank you for the super sticker. And Connie Bomber, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being here. Connie Bomber, you were there all night, but that's daytime for you, right? Anyway, yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed the marathon. There were parts that I kind of slept through it. uh, there was a few parts where I was just like, huh? But it was amazing because every time I woke up and said something, it seems to be in the correct space. So I don't think anybody noticed. But then again, don't all of my stories sound alike? All of my stories start off with, well, did I ever tell you about that time I went to Europe? Or wait, how about that time when I went to the royal wedding? Well, I was in Windsor that day. Or let's see. Oh, yeah, another one. Well, anyway, my aunt bought me some pot stickers, right? All of my stories are just recycled. So I would just throw those in and it seemed to fit. So let me see. Judy Matassa, thank you so much for being here. 8 hours we were on yesterday, right? I think so, about 8 hours. But it was fun. Didn't seem like it. I didn't have a pizza to cook. I didn't have the tradition of going and making my pizza while everything was going on. But yeah, it was great. Such a stimulating conversation. It was riveting at some points. And then, of course, there were there was a little of something for everybody, right? I think it was a little of something for everybody. And I am so glad that the lady Sussex was there. Well, she wasn't on, but she was listening. So that was very cool. I'm so glad to hear that. Um, hmm, what was I just about to do? I'm like moving stuff and talking at the same time. It was something I was about to do. Maybe it wasn't that important. Okay. Oh, yeah, I know what it was. I wanted to see how long was the live, well, the members only. It was 7 hours and 46 minutes and 20 seconds. We should have just stayed on for another 15 minutes. But yeah, and you know what else I noticed too is after you're done with the live, then it becomes public. But I had to make it members only again because I feel like what was said in the members only should stay in the members only. You know what I mean? I think it's only fair to the people that were there. So, um, yo, thank you so much, Church Nelly, with the squatty hooks. Of course, these are bespoke, handcrafted items made by one of our favorite squatties, that, of course, being Rohini. So I'm going to put that link at the top of the chat. There we go. And trust me when I say this, they've done everything they could to get the price of shipment down, like shipping from Rohini's home country to a I don't know how. What is that in the U.S.? I think they're shipping it to someone in the U.S. I think. Well, anyway, they're doing that so that they can keep the price as low as possible. And if you go into the Invictus Games, you may see a few items there that you might enjoy rocking at the Invictus Games, right? So make sure you check it out. Let's see. Let me see. Did I put the wrong link up there? Which link did I put? Oh, I see. I see. Okay, let me switch that right now. Okay, replace pin message. There we go. I think that's right. Spotty hooks. Yeah. So, okay, now the proper link is up there. Judy Matasit, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for being here. Okay. And that, and all right. I think I'm all caught up now. Heather Stroud, thank you so much for being here. Is anyone going to the Invictus Games? So far, I just know that Petal of Facts and Two Cents is going for certain. And I think this will be her first Invictus Games. So can't wait to see the amazing photos that she is going to post for those of us who are not going. Okay. Hi, Gwendolyn Daniels, Lady T. All right. And on with it, we'll go. So, oh yeah, the British tabloid Playbook. Interesting article. Very interesting. And of course, my nephew made this for me. I love that. It is just, I rated R for Regal. That is beautiful. I love it. I love it. It's just, is perfection. All of the swirl work and everything. And of course, the kind of, it's like one of those company logos, right? They have it like behind the reception desk and they have the floodlight on it just so that, you know what I mean? That looks really cool. That looks really cool. Okay. And this is of course from yesterday. Look at me in the corner there. Kind of got half of my head shaved off, but I thought that was fun. I kind of repurposed one of the thumbnails and put myself down in the corner. Shh, members only. Shh, be very quiet. Members only. B10 Pow, 35 months membership. Congratulations and thank you so much for being here. 35 months. How is that possible? 35 months. Thank you very much for that. Oh, I will do that. I will do that. I believe I did, but I'm gonna tell them again just in case I forgot. Um, let's see here. B10 Pal, that is so nice of you. That is so nice. Really, really appreciate that. B10 goes all the way back in the Sussex squad, all the way back. B10 has been a constant supporter of the Sussex friendly platforms. Okay. And guess who else is back? I haven't checked it out myself, but apparently they say TikTok is back. TikTok is back. Now, it wasn't taken down everywhere, just in these United States of America. But I'm glad that they're not going to give the credit to the incumbent president. I don't believe any of them deserve credit. I believe that the TikTok has only been threatened for some political reasons. Um, I won't go into it again, but it is a lot of things that I wonder if some of those same people that are so afraid of TikTok invading their privacy, I wonder if those same people shop at Temu because that was the same thing they said about Temu, right? And every time I look up, someone else is saying, "Oh, I bought this at Temu." Now, that is the reason why I have not used Temu yet because, I was concerned about the whole data thing, right? Well, I I don't know. Just I don't want to start with them because I have a bad enough thing going on um, with Amazon, and if it's not Amazon, it's Costco, and if it's not Costco, well, actually, those are pretty much the two places where I get out of hand is Amazon and Costco. And oh, by the way, I went to Costco, and what did I get? Besides 6 months worth of paper towels, which I didn't realize I still had quite a few left to go from what I purchased previously. What was the big coup I got from there? Was it the gigantic bag of barbecue, Japanese barbecue corn puffs? Okay, that was a good one. Let me see. What else was it? I thought I got something really interesting, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I did not. I don't know. But yeah, so I enjoyed much. What did I spend so much money on? I went to Costco. I don't remember. And I know it wasn't another office chair that's still in the box that I have not assembled yet because I got one of those. It wasn't the television because I don't, I didn't get it. What did I spend so much money on? That is so weird. I can't even think of what I got. Oh well, it must not have been that important. And it sounds like something I could just take it back and I won't miss it, right? Along with that office chair that's still in the box. Oh well. Plus, y'all kind of like the squeaky one, right? Huh? Right? It gives I don't hear it anymore. Okay, okay. The bakery aisle is naughty. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I don't remember what I got. That is so strange. Well, I know I got food. I spent some time gathering food, but aside from that, I must have bought something. Did I get coffee pots? No. Oh well, it can't be that important then. Let's go on, shall we? Harry's legal fight exposes media efforts to undermine him and Meghan. Now, of course, you probably recognize Royanika. I think that's her on the left side. And then, of course, the gatekeeper herself, Rebecca English. And then that toad, that old toad in the center, Rupert Murdoch himself. This hate campaign that has been going on for all this time, I just am so disappointed that some investigative reporter or someone from the I don't know, the mainstream media would get involved. But it's not so easy to do that for them because after all, they kind of stick together. And the other thing that's going on is that there is a we're caught up in a cultural um, war right now. So Harry and Meghan are just in that place where you have to take sides. right? And what's very different is this is not like a case of do you like Alexis or do you like Crystal? I'm speaking, of course, of the characters from Dynasty. Alexis, the villain, or the immaculate heart of Crystal. You have to make a choice. Who is your favorite character? Now, I was Team Crystal, of course. Just like on Downton Abbey, I was Team Anna. And I always root for the good guy or girl. But we're just at that place where they want us to make choices. And there don't seem to be any gray areas. The big difference is this is real life. There are real feelings. The characters are real. The events are real. The children are real. All of these things are real. All of these people are real. The events, everything is real. And the choice, that doesn't seem so real. That seems to me like nonsense. But no, it's real. You seem to be compelled to make a choice. As I said last night, I don't hate Kate Middleton, but I do resent the fact that she has only been made more popular. Her status has grown because they used Meghan as a foil. They used Meghan as an alternative. That's exactly what they've done. They used Meghan as the choice of Coke versus Pepsi, just so that they could elevate the stature of Kate Middleton. And the same with William. They used Harry to elevate his stature. Two of the dullest people that have ever drawn a breath. If you look through some of the old articles about them, one after the other, those articles remind you of how boring they are. I mean, so boring that just thinking about them, you probably should not operate a vehicle because you might just doze off. You might veer off the road. That's how boring they are. It's like watching paint dry. It's like boiling water. There is just no there there. They're not interesting. They're not particularly smart. And, I don't get involved with their parenting skills, but I'm sure they love their families and they're great parents. But it bothers me because part of the hate campaign coming from, of course, the derangers, the nickname that we have given to those keyboard warriors that seem to uh, plot against Sussexes, is that they even question Harry and Meghan's parenting skills and praise those other two. Oh, Carmen uh, Capella, looks like we got a new member. Thank you so much for becoming a member of Royal Sussex. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate that. Let me see. This is real life. There are consequences if people are hurt or worse, unlike a TV series or game, they don't come back unhurt or realived. Well, that's a great point. That is an excellent point. Well, except for Dallas. Yeah, in Dallas, I think it was it Patrick Dempsey? It was all just a dream. They dreamed that he was gone from the show by however that happened. Um, yeah, you're absolutely right. We don't get to have a do over. Or how about Stephen Carrington? He wants, okay, Al Corley, the actor, wants off the show. So they send his character to the South China Sea to work on an oil rig. There's an explosion, and he comes back. And miraculously, after taking all those bandages off his face, he looks like a whole nother man. Even his height has changed. And they even gave him a cane to walk with until they didn't. And yeah, there's that only happens on television or in the movies or whatever. So excellent point. Thank you so much for that. Okay. I have been just kind of watching Dynasty again the past couple days. So everything for me is in Denver right now. So about the article though, let's stay on track with that. I did mention the gatekeeper, and that of course is the Rebecca English. Rebecca English. Oh, how I loathe that name, Rebecca English. I think she's just awful, awful. Rebecca English, it tends to be the point person, the lead of the Royal Rota. I guess you can say she's the one who decides who goes where and covers what. The Royal Rota, they're not real reporters. They are an extension of the palace. They are an extension of that institution. Essentially, their job is to make sure that that institution, that family, that those two misfits, Will and Kate, not to be confused with the other misfits, um, Charles and Godzilla, it's their job, the Royal Rota, to make sure that they always are seen in a positive light, that you overstate their accomplishments if you can find any, that you overstate their importance because they're really not. Most people go about their day unchanged, whether they do something or nothing. It doesn't seem to matter. And if you can squeeze a coin out of them, it's taxpayers' money. It's not theirs. Dreadful, dreadful, useless, waste of space, waste of potential, waste of a great platform. I mean, the royal family, they have a great platform, but they just don't use it. The last great use of the platform, that is, of course, the being a royal, um, with the exception of Harry and Meghan. The last great use of that was probably, well, for certain, Princess Diana did a lot. She has done so much with what she had, and I guess you could say the Prince's Trust from Charles that has made a difference. But by and large, most of those patronages they have are just a waste of time. Those patronages, it just ensures you have a celebrity royal at your gala or dinner, or they throw the name around, but it doesn't really bring money in. There's been studies that say the patronages, in most instances, does little or nothing in terms of raising funds for charity, um, with the exception, again, of course, the Sussexes. Most of them are just there. They're just names. They do very little. But of course, you wouldn't know that listening to Rebecca English or Maureen Eden and the rest of that group, because they make you believe that what is done in other countries is only possible in the UK because they're involved. Like, think about it. Out of the thousands of charities across these United States, most instances, there's not a royal within a million miles. So, no royal patronage from most of these charities. And yet, somehow, they have done extraordinary things without the input of Charles or Willie Leaks or Kitty, and of course, Godzilla. Extraordinary things have been done without their input. And you can say the same for Queen Elizabeth. Her name was there, did not really change anything. It was just a way to honor them. And if you're lucky, you might even get them to show up from time to time. But other than that, nothing to it. So, as you know, I Rebecca English is not one of my favorite people. I think she's awful, so manipulative, a master manipulator. So in the article, it says Vanity Fair's latest article. By the way, I have not read that article. Please do not read that article. We are being, okay, the appeal has come down from the mountaintop, meaning that some of your favorite people that I have referenced on Royal Sussex, they said the article is nothing but a hatchet job. In some respects, it has been reported worse, much worse than that other one where they accused Meghan of being a dictator. It rehashed a bunch of nonsense. It just rehashed a lot of things that we have heard far too often. So take it for what you will. Usually, I enjoy articles from Vanity Fair, but for some reason, they have gone rogue. They have gone rogue. And I trust those content creators when they say that this one is pretty bad. So I'm just not even going to bother with it. I will not give them the engagement. So Vanity Fair's latest article about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle follows a familiar pattern from the British tabloid playbook, as Harry's court case against Rupert Murdoch newspaper over unlawful practices gains traction. Articles like Vanity Fair's conveniently surfaces to distract and discredit, instead of acknowledging the Sussexes' positive impact, like Meghan's community work or Harry's advocacy for veterans. Vanity Fair recycles baseless claims. They are recycling baseless claims. How many times do we have to go through this? How many times are they just going to take those same baseless claims, most of which evolved from Kensington Palace? How many times are you going to put that in the blender and then pour it back out again? How many times? I mean, it doesn't change anything. It only serves to the attempt is to demoralize the people that support the Sussexes, people like you and I, and even the hate listeners that support this channel, that give me the engagement so that I can continue to support Harry and Meghan. Every time they hit that, what do you call it, the thumbs down, that's engagement. That's engagement. Now, it tells the algorithm that this is an awful channel for anybody who wants the truth about Harry and Meghan. Awful. So keep hitting that thumbs down. Keep hitting that thumbs down. Even if you like it, hit that thumbs down. Yeah. Even the hate listeners are supporting the Sussexes. The best way for them to really help the Sussexes is to stop following that nonsense. If you really want to help the Sussexes, which I know you do, You think you hate the Sussexes, but you couldn't because you're always here. You're always out there listening to me praise them and highlight the nonsense from that institution. So face it, you're a fan. You're a fan. B10 says, guys, I closed my Twitter account and deleted my Facebook account. Elon Musk and Zuckerberg are never getting my membership again. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Those two, I would like to say evil geniuses, but they've actually just, you know, taken over somebody else's idea and hard work. But yeah, I get it. Yeah, they're kissing the rain. They're going down to Mar-a-Lago. They're eating and sleeping at the White House soon. And oh my God, I cannot stand it. Okay. Okay, so we've done that one. Did we? Yeah, we did that one. Okay, let's go to the next one. So it says here, this isn't a coincidence. The timing aligns with a strategy to undermine Harry's fight for media accountability while overshadowing the Sussexes' accomplishments. By dissecting the motives and tactics behind that article, we can expose how it serves as a distraction from the media's unethical behavior and a weapon in a larger smear campaign. You know what? What that's what I forgot to do. This is I don't even know how you pronounce that. Let me just grab that and share it with you. I don't know what you call this. Is it film? Okay, I don't know what that one is, but I'll show you in just a second where I got this article from. And also, let me just share the link. I will share the link for the article. Okay. And then if you choose to see it for yourself, you can. Wait, did I put it there? Yeah. Okay, how come that's not working? Oh, okay. All right, let me try that again. There we go. And okay, I'm going to pin that to the top of the chat. That's the article. And let me show you the name of the online magazine. Okay. There we go. That's it right there. What is it? Feminegra? Feminegra. Oh, does that mean black women? Feminega? Feminegra. Feminegra. Okay. Feminegra. Oh, that's a weird name. I mean, not weird, but Bold Voices Unleashed. Yeah, I can hear an educated black woman in this writing. I hear an educated black woman in this writing. Let me see who wrote the article. Let me see who wrote that article. Okay, and I lost it. All right, well, let's keep it moving then. Let's keep it moving. So you got the name, you got the link. There you go. Vanity Fair's article aligns with Meghan Markle's now postponed Netflix show. Obviously, the whole point of that smear campaign related article was to wreak havoc with Meghan Markle's, the Duchess of Sussex's upcoming lifestyle show. That was it. They don't want it to be successful. The time of the Vanity did I do that one twice? On yeah. Okay. The time in the Vanity Fair's article about the couple's media ventures is curious to say the least. The publication of the piece just days before Meghan's Netflix cooking show premiere suggests that the royals and the media coordinated effort to overshadow her project. This lines up with the consistent pattern of negativity targeting the Sussexes during critical moments with their ventures, while a litany of fluff promotion for the so called working royals. The so called working royals. Now, someone tweeted about this article, absolutely the worst article I have ever read in my 30 years as a subscriber. Shame. Was Vanity Fair purchased by the UK's Daily Mail and I didn't realize it? Nothing but conjecture. Unsubstantiated quotes, poor grammar, and obstinate and and obscenity and dreadful hypotheses. Yes, and that word too, hypotheses. But the obscenity, that's pretty bad too. Whatever she said, I totally agree with her. Even if I can't pronounce it, I agree with her 100. 100. I'm with you, girl. I am with you. Let me throw some hundreds up there. 100. I am with you 100 with your obscenities. uh, oh, well, it's never too early or too late for some big words. Although I must admit that one gave me just a slight headache. Where was I at? Oh, we need to go on to the next one. So, for example, the media used Kate Middleton's cancer-free announcement to draw attention away from Meghan Markle joining a book club event with Oprah Winfrey in September of 2024. Now the media has recycled the same cancer-free story to remission to overshadow Meghan's Netflix show premiere once again. I didn't really think about it. I did notice that they keep saying that she's slowly going back to work and that she is cancer free, she's in remission, she's over her treatments, etc., etc. Why do they think people are starting to cast doubt on this whole cancer thing? Because it fits every possible problem that they have. Of course, the problem being overshadowed by the, you know, hardworking, intelligent, and very much loved Sussexes in comparison to two of the laziest people that have ever lived. I mean, lazy. I don't say that lightly. They are lazy. I am frustrated by how lazy they are in comparison to two people who have done so much and have given so much. Lazy. I mean, look at her face. Look at her face. That is someone who is not interested in the work, who only wants to show up and be praised for showing up, of course, right? Like that big entrance they had at the Wimbledon, where she was careful to bring her daughter just in case there was any booing or just in case people ignored her. So she brought her daughter like some type of security blanket. You never brought her before, but you're bringing her now so that you can, you know, have a little extra something. I don't know. It's just too bad that she doesn't really show up for the women's tennis. She tends to gravitate toward the men's tennis, and in some cases, allegedly flirt with the wife of one of the champions. I'm sorry, the husband of, well, you know what I mean. Angered the wife of one of the champions by openly flirting with him. So, where did I leave off? Now the media has recycled the same cancer-free story to remission to overshadow Meghan's Netflix show premiere once again. These changes, along with vague details about her cancer treatment, show how the media controls timing and stories to shape public opinion. Really? Is that what they're doing? Yeah. Yeah, hey, that's exactly what they're doing. It's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. This is the most revolting behavior. It is disgusting. They are using this cancer narrative as a way to drum up sympathy for someone who has barely, I mean, just if this is true that she had cancer, why did it take over a year? Why did it take you over a year before you actually got involved? Hugging a visitor to the Windsor Castle is not exactly standing up for people with cancer. And then she goes to a clinic, no face mask, right? I'm amazed that you're going to a place where people are being treated. You bring those nasty, grubby, filthy camera people, not to mention the tabloid reporters. You're walking around, you're hugging, you're shaking hands, you're touching people's thigh to look more engaged. And by the way, bringing a ton of germs into a place of treatment, that seems strange to me. This whole, I guess, public return has never made sense. The language is not right. The treatments, they don't seem to align with someone who has been treated for cancer. And yet, this is their default setting, but with the complete absence of something logical to say, they don't really have anything else. They have nothing else. For her is, oh, she's been through cancer, and for William, he's been through what she's been through and how she's been through cancer. Everything's about how William reacted to her cancer. As she slowly returns to work. How much slower can she return to work? It's almost like she doesn't work at all. And they love to caution, especially Rebecca English. She loves to caution that no one should assume that Kate is returning to work full time. Do you think we're assuming that? I'm not. I'm assuming that Kate is showing up when she absolutely has to, meaning that they want to make sure that Meghan can never, ever, 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 ever have a free and clear opportunity to just be herself, the activist, the feminist, the entrepreneur. They don't want people to see that. And of course, the artist. They don't want people to see that. They want to keep people engaged with a very selfish individual. Kate Middleton has done little to help anybody in life. Very little. She only comes out when she has to. You're more likely to see the passing of Halley's Comet than to see Kate actually doing some work. If you know, you know. Kate Middleton shares that she is cancer free in moving new video. Okay, that was one. The Princess of Wales is cancer free. Kate Middleton shares a highly something, something, something. That was another. Princess of Wales says she's cancer free in intimate family video. And another. And now Kate goes back to the hospital where they gave her treatment so that she could be able to tell you she's cancer free. You see what I'm saying? That's just the four that we can count from this article. The four times that Kate has been cancer free. We get it. Now go out there and advocate for some of the people that are truly in need of help. Take the time to go through the process with anyone, someone who doesn't have enough people in their life. That's what you can do away from the cameras. I've done it before. I've been that hand to hold at chemotherapy. I've done it before. If you really want to help someone, just select one person and be there for them while they're going through treatment. It's not that difficult. They just need moral support. But she's not going to do that because that'd be too much like work. And everybody knows Kate Middleton does not work. Lazy. She's lazy and her husband is lazy. Lazy people. She's coming to her own. Now, this is not from the article, but I just felt like being shady. She's coming to her own. Princess of Wales wasn't always comfortable doing royal engagements, but is now an impressive communicator, Rebecca English tells Palace Confidential. I'm going to say every 3 months, there's another article, especially from Rebecca, saying how Kate Middleton has come into her own. Kate Middleton is finally, actually, what is she? By the way, as you can see on the right side, that's Rebecca English playing baseball. I didn't know she was a fan, but apparently, sometimes when the Royal Rota takes a break from being dreadful and shady, um, Rebecca English likes to, play a little baseball. So she's coming to her own. Princess of Wales wasn't always comfortable doing royal engagements. But don't worry, you all, because she's coming to her own. And those days of shy and reclusive, that's a thing of the past. Now she is ready to really do some work. But don't expect her to come back too soon. Don't assume that she's over the rough times, because even though she's cancer free, there's good days and there's bad days. And then there's days where she just don't feel like working. Now, to be fair, we do have to reach out to Kensington Palace every so often because, I believe in the, point counterpoint. You know what I mean? So since she's not here to defend herself, let's just hear what she has to say.
Well, obviously it'd be, I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to, obviously to this day, and going forward and things. It is, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and very inspirational. So yeah, I do.
Ooh, didn't she sound posh? Elocution lessons, successful. Successful. I'll say it was successful. I mean, I just about understood every word. Didn't seem to line up as well, but I understood something. Now, back to that article. The Daily Mail takes this step further by contrasting Kate Middleton's hospital visit, described as a masterclass, with Meghan Markle's wildfire relief efforts, labeled as, you got it, disaster class. Rebecca English, of all people, in her segment on Palace Confidential, promotes this narrative, framing Kate in a positive light while vilifying Meghan. These carefully timed story highlight a double standard and a deliberate strategy of using royal narratives, notably Kate Middleton's, to diminish Meghan Meghan's achievements. The media coordination with royal factions undermine Meghan and Harry while distracting from the more significant issues of media accountability and unethical practices. See there? Kate Middleton's hospital visit was a masterclass, unlike Meghan Markle's LA fire disaster class. Rebecca English discusses in Palace Confidential. Yep, she sat there and just big fat said that. Yep, she went there. And so instead of reporting the news, now she has become the news because of her clever wordsmithing, her ability to come up with yet another awful tagline. Can't say lazy, that's already taken. Thank you, Perlina Answer. Let me see. Oh yeah, of course she'll be back. She'll be back. uh Twice. Let me see. September 2024, January. No, I think it's a few more times. I think there's a couple more times. But yeah, I think there's been two big ones though. There's been two big ones. I think some of the times when that declaration has been made, she just didn't have to show up. Kate Middleton's Vista was a masterclass of incoherent words Rebecca English meant to inform. Thank you, B10 Pal. Now, why Vanity Fair serves as a distraction to undermine Prince Harry's fight for justice. Vanity Fair's article, published on January 17th, 2025, coincides with Prince Harry's ongoing legal battle against media outlet over phone hacking and privacy invasion. These lawsuits seek accountability for unethical practices, yet Harry's fight often triggers waves of demanding stories designed to undermine his credibility. Vanity Fair's chief royal editor, Katie Nichols, very anti Sussex, plays a notable role in these controversies. Although Vanity Fair is not owned by Rupert Murdoch, Nichols previously worked for Murdoch owned publication and the Daily Mail, both implicated in Harry's legal claims. Ah, well, that explains it. Oh, yeah, that's not Roy Anika, that's Katie Nichols. I always confuse the two of them. I guess they have the shadiness in common. After her time at the Mail, Nichols' articles were soaked with references to private phone calls and text messages, mirror patterns seen in tabloid rivals accused of disguising illegal acts, including phone hacking. Her reports delve into Prince Harry's friendship with Natalie Pinkham, Chelsea Davy, and Natalie Imbruglia, raising questions about the sources of her information. Despite denials of knowingly using illegally obtained data, Nichols and her former outlet face scrutiny for their journalistic practices, which Britain's leading privacy judge has criticized. As well, they should. Now, oops, went too far. The Vanity Fair piece aligns with similar patterns at the Mail of using unsubstantiated claims and recycled narratives to shift focus away from media misconduct. By publishing at a critical moment in Harry's lawsuit, it serves as both a distraction from the legal proceedings and an attempt to tarnish Harry's reputation. This tactic not only shields powerful media entities from accountability, but also perpetuates unethical practices at the expense of truth and justice. But why does the media vilify Meghan and fuels a cycle of hate? Why does the media vilify Meghan and fuels a cycle of hate? Why does that look weird to me? Anyway, but why? Why do they do it? To hurt Harry. Mostly to hurt Harry. It is part of the ongoing punishment for them turning their back on that institution, from walking away from that institution. And of course, because their popularity seems to be a threat to the authority of that institution. And just like the mob, the firm, you just don't leave the firm. You just can't walk away from it. And of course, my ongoing theory about how Harry and Meghan serve as a cautionary tale. Now, I am the last person who wants to ever uh, compare them to the Duke and Duchess of Windsor, but the tactics are so similar because you had a man who fell in love with a woman that he found exceptional in every way. Big difference is he was unable to continue his work because his work is basically doing mostly nothing, just being an example to people of what the landed gentry, what the aristocracy has to offer. That's what he did for a living. He was the king, and all he had to do was go around and just show up. He couldn't say anything controversial. Very different from the Sussexes. Their words are scrutinized all the time because they say things that some people would rather not hear. Like the equity of vaccines, landmines being removed, and of course, there's the Harry has been working with HIV and AIDS for years. Meghan and her feminism, empowering women. And of course, let us not forget paid leave. Those are things that have gotten him in trouble. You didn't get that from the Duke and Duchess of Windsor because that wasn't stuff they really cared about. They could have sat on that throne just like Charles and Godzilla and done little or nothing but just show up and look for praise instead of showing up and doing work. That's the big difference. Harry works. He's always worked. Meghan works. She's always worked. And more often, you'll find them working for other people, trying to liberate, trying to celebrate, feeding other people, standing up for other people. I don't know that there was ever any type of thing for the Duke and Duchess of Windsor where they actually provided funding to feed people or even show up with food for that matter. They just went to parties for the rest of their life. And I'm not trying to disparage them as, just useless people, but they keep making that comparison, not because they see that there's anything in common except for the fact that they walked away from that institution. So they want to turn Harry and Meghan into that cautionary tale, use them as a warning to other royal family members. This is what happens when you walk away, when you turn your back. Now you stay here and let us abuse you, let us mistreat you, let us conspire with the tabloid media until you feel like you just don't want to be here anymore. And when that happens, then we'll make sure you get some medication. Not that I'm saying that a couple of the family members today are being medicated so that they don't, lose their minds. It just seems like they're medicated, doesn't it? It just seems like that they found something to calm them down. Now I don't know what's in the medication. Sometimes it make you dress up like a Mitchum roll-on deodorant bottle, or sometimes you look like a windsock. Strong medication. But what but I cannot confirm or deny that they're taking medication because I don't know. But they just seem medicated. Now, it may be prescribed or maybe it comes off the shelf at the Tesco. I don't know what kind of medication it is. But it just said it seems like they're medicated. Sometimes it seems like it don't work. But it's none of my business, whatever. Sometimes I be thinking, what if somebody within that institution said, "Hello, is this the Daily Mail? Senior Royal here. Yes, would you like to hear about medication?" I said, would you like to hear about medication? But that would be too much fun. That'll probably never happen again. So take a look here. Why Hollywood is quit. Yeah, that's the Hollywood Reporter, right? And then there's the New York Post, and then there's Vanity Fair. So these hatchet jobs by what are supposed to be American publications. They're no better than the tabloids. They lure you into a false sense of security only to pull the okey doke. That's what they do. Now, the New York Post, in particular, we don't expect much from the New York Post because that is directly Murdoch. And as for Vanity Fair, well, like they said, Katie Nichols is there. And then the Hollywood Reporter, I think that's Murdoch, right? Yeah, I think that's Murdoch. Anyway, they were completely out of pocket, as they say, wrong as two left shoes. They're sticking up for that antiquated, ridiculous institution where you have, I don't know, two accidents of birth and two gold diggers, right? You have Godzilla, Kitty. Both of them waited an extraordinary amount of time. If you ask me, they have done more to damage women's lib than, I don't know, than just about any two women I could think of. Instead of Camilla getting proper work under her belt, she spent her time waiting for Charles. And of course, as for Kate, she sat around for 10 years. The woman who took 10 years to come up with 5 questions took another 10 years to get William to ask a question. You know that? That's 20 years of Catherine the Great sitting around waiting for answers, waiting for answers. Kate sat around for 10 years waiting for 5 questions. And then, of course, in 10 years, that's long enough to wait for that girl in Australia to be born, for her to go on the TED Talk, and for her to do that presentation, which looks very, much identical to what Kate took 10 years. You know what I'm saying? She had to wait for that girl to be born so that she could come up with her early years. And then another 10 years of her life was spent waiting for William to ask her to marry him. That took 10 years. And while she was waiting, William was waiting. William was waiting for something better to come along. And when he couldn't find anything better, guess what happened? Guess what happened? He took the consolation prize. That's what happened. Cat of Harlem says, I'm late. Have you read the article about Meghan in Forbes by Sophia A. Nelson? I wish the Sussex squad promoted the article versus Vanity Fair article. It's worth a 3-minute read. No, haven't seen it. I may have and just don't recall. But I will definitely take a look for it. But thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, I don't know. I did something with Forbes, didn't I? Recently? I wonder how old that article is. I do remember Forbes. I just don't remember if I did something with the Forbes article. But yeah, I'll check it out. But I know I did something with Forbes recently. Right? That sounds familiar. Yeah, you know what? I cannot remember. I may have not. I don't recall. But okay. Thank you so much for the super chat. Now, that of course is Rupert Murdoch, the spawn of Satan himself. Oh, I can't see that. Let me see. The increasingly presence of the British royalist journalists in high-profile American media positions, combined with the right-wing media and political class, has intensified biased coverage of Harry and Meghan, particularly Meghan. These journalists are often linked to UK tabloids with history of harsh royal reporting, now play a role in shaping the American narrative, amplifying substantiated claims that tarnish the Sussexes' reputation, which is exactly what I was so agitated about the other day. If you all remember the other day when I expressed my frustration with the way they were creating this new tagline or whatever you want to call it in reference to the visit to what was it, Pasadena? Yeah, I was very frustrated by that because I felt like there were not enough friends of Harry and Meghan that were speaking up on their behalf. Now, I would be naive if I said, oh, they need to have a big press conference. No, that only makes a bad situation worse. But there is so many people out there that have benefited from their work. And then there are people that have witnessed their hard work. And finally, Jose Andreas spoke up. I wish there were more Jose Andreases out there that would speak up. I mean, you see that they're under attack and you say nothing? But yet, when people need them for something, they don't hesitate to call them. There's a lot of people that benefit from their, let's just say, celebrity, from their brand. How come more of them aren't speaking up? That frustrates me. Unless they were afraid to speak up. I don't know. But that really frustrated me. Do you recognize that name? Do you recognize that name? Sarah Nathan, her and her sister, those two names always come up. They always come up. Eventually, you're going to run into those names. Sarah Nathan, now editor at large at the New York Post, plays a key role in shaping negative coverage of Meghan Markle in American media. Nathan's career began at, guess where? Rupert Murdoch's The Sun, where she launched its TV Biz column in 2003 and served as editor until 2009. She then moved to the Daily Mail as show business editor and later became Mail Online's U.S. show business editor at large in 2012. God, she's been at this for a while, hasn't she? After a stint at People as executive editor, she joined the New York Post in 2018 with this background in British, oh God, with this background in British tabloids. Known for targeting Meghan, Nathan's coverage reflects the same biased narratives. Her influence has brought the smear campaign against Meghan to US media, echoing the familiar tactics of British tabloid culture and raising questions about how these biases shape public perception globally. So, obviously, there is this push. There's this push from across the ocean to increase the negative coverage, bringing it right over here to the United States. Now, in the early days of the Sussexes' exit from the UK, they were very successful. You know, it was big news. They were on morning television, they were doing the entertainment shows, and then that kind of stopped, right? You don't see as much negativity about them on American television, especially when it comes to the local news coverage. The local news coverage has been very fair as far as I'm concerned, but they want to ramp it up. They want to ramp it up because you see, they will, and when I say they, I'm speaking of the local media, eventually they are going to end up taking their cue from some of these national newspapers and television shows and stuff. Cannot let that happen. They want to infiltrate the American media and not only against the Sussexes, it's not just about them. As Tina and Michelle has said far too often, this is so much bigger than Harry and Meghan. So much bigger. It is that cultural war that I spoke of before. Then there are people that mean to use them as a way to make even greater points with so many things that people might identify as liberal, and that word that I hate, woke. Anything that seems woke or too liberal, then that goes into, you know, something against Harry and Meghan. And Harry and Meghan are used to push the narrative about those things. There's a whole group of celebrities that have been put into that category. The go to people, like Serena Williams, where anything that has to do with something that is considered too liberal, somehow they'll work their name into it. British media act like spurned exes. They need the US media. Yeah. Thank you, Legs. Yeah. It was like over a year ago, there was a nasty article about the Sussexes that was on an NBC website. And I looked into the background of the reporter, and guess where she was from? The United Kingdom. Now, this reporter unfortunately had taken ill. Or, as I like to say, the ancestors had got to her. She had taken ill, poor thing. And, well, the last time I saw her, she was confined to a hospital bed. I think her dog had her dog had just died. And I think her medical bills, or anyway, she was a mess. She was an absolute mess. But it just did not surprise me where she was from. I have never been more interested in who writes articles in my life. Never been more interested until Harry and Meghan came along. I did not pay much attention. I never got to know their names. And even worse, there are some that I can identify by face because I've looked into their background to see where they're from. Where is this hate coming from? And more often than I care to acknowledge, it's coming from the United Kingdom. Those people, some of them have been here for years. Like, remember the oh, by the way, thanks again, Legs. Remember the lady from Germany that went to Montecito, and then they find what, a British reporter who lives in Montecito and declared him Harry and Meghan's neighbor when he's probably nowhere near them, just so that they could have a monicum of credibility by saying one of their neighbors even feels this way. I shouldn't think that the neighbors even know which house is the Sussexes unless they live next door. This is a gated community. Nobody talks to each other. They're in this area so that people leave them alone. Unless they know each other professionally, chances are they don't have much to do with each other. They live there for the great weather and to be left alone. That's why they're there. They don't see each other dragging their garbage cans out to the curb. So this idea that their neighbors they don't even know their neighbors don't know them. That just doesn't happen. Okay, let me see here. Oh, Shelly L says it's time to go after the New York Post advertisers. Amen to that. Thank you very much. And again, you guys, this is an article from, where are they from? All right, wait. There it is. There we go. Apparently, Vanity Fair has ruffled a few feathers. I have not read the article. I do not intend to read the article. But content creators that I trust have said this is a hatchet job. I will take their word for it, and I'm good. Um, if it's anything like the above mentioned, which by the way, I'll just show you that again. Wait. Take that away. These. It is right uh, in league with the Hollywood Reporter and, of course, the New York Post. So 1, 2, 3. Now you got the Vanity Fair. So those are three where they took everything that has ever been, well, not everything, but you know what I mean. They took the more popular negative comments and stories about the Sussexes and they cobbled them together into articles um, to use as a hatchet job, to use as an attack on the Sussexes. And they do this anytime Harry and Meghan are about to do something really big. That's when these articles come out. Every time, that's when these articles come out. Sometimes they don't really have time to put things together before the Sussexes have a big move, but when they do, oh my God. So it has been one thing after another leading up to Meghan's lifestyle show. And because the premiere has been pushed back, now they got time to really make trouble. And it's a twofer because it's the cooking show, well, the lifestyle show, the court case, and I don't know, maybe it's a threefer, and the Invictus Games. So those are three things that we must brace ourselves for because they are going to do their best to try to elevate those mediocre people and to try to tarnish the Sussex's reputation. Every time they try to do that, it backfires in the most epic way. Because what happens is people say, oh, I didn't know she did that. I didn't know he did that. I didn't know they did that. You know what I mean? Every time they try this, it backfires because more often than not, it highlights the accomplishments of the Sussexes. So right now, I don't really feel so bad about it. I don't. I don't like it, and I wish they would stop. But I know that it's only going to make their star shine brighter. You know what I mean? There is something positive that's going to come out of this, and that is people are going to get to know Harry and Meghan even more than they know them now. Okay? So that is a little, what do you call it? A little nugget. That's a little nugget that you can hold on to right there. Is that all of this negativity are going to bring out the TikTokers, just like it did when they went to the Pasadena. I mean, I was so proud of the wave of support that was pouring out of TikTok. I really was. TikTok is a very valuable asset. And they want us to believe that somehow TikTok is going to lead to the decline of Western civilization. No, it is not. It is a platform where you can find some truth, where you can find a counter narrative. You know what Twitter used to be. So don't despair, because good times are ahead. I promise. So let them do their best, and we will help introduce the Sussexes to a whole new group of people who have heard negative things, and then they'll start to question, why are they always after them? What is it, a slow news day? That's the kind of responses that you see in a lot of the comment sections of these articles. You'll find that there's a lot of people that are asking the question, why do you make everything about Harry and Meghan? It really does not make sense. And not everybody is so gullible to just accept it. Challenging biased narratives and supporting positive change. We urge our readers to carefully examine the stories they see in the media and question the narratives being promoted. It's important to hold media outlets accountable for spreading false information and harmful stereotypes. By doing this, we can create a fairer and more honest media. Okay? By doing this, we can make things better. The treatment of Harry and Meghan highlights bigger problems such as bias and protection of powerful interests. Their work in charity, advocacy, and speaking the truth deserves support, not constant attack. At the Feminagra, we are a team of crowd-funded journalists committed to sharing stories the mainstream media ignores. Help us amplify the voices of women like Meghan Markle and stand up against unfair narratives. You can make a difference by sharing Feminagra articles, following us on social media, and subscribing to our newsletter. By supporting our platform, you can help rewrite, rewrite history, encourage representation, and ensure the truth is heard. Together, we can fight bias, reporting, and build a media culture based on fairness and respect. Amen. Now, here's a response to the Vanity Fair. There's an army of Meghan and Harry haters that are up to something online right now, probably because Harry is suing powerful tabloids. Don't fall for it. Hashtag Team Harry and Meghan. You guys, it ain't time to despair. That's not the time. The whole point of the article was to establish that there's a problem and problems need fixing. And you can see from this tweet and the other tweet that I shared with you, people see this. They're not squatties. They're not really Harry and Meghan supporters, but they're just people that can see that there is this awful narrative that seems to be used as a distraction. People know it. People have caught on. A lot of the negativity that you see in comments on Twitter, those are bots. Those are not even people. They were paid for by some of the same dark forces that have created these narratives in the first place. You tell it, Sonia Johnson. You tell it. Yeah, now ain't the time to despair. It is, I feel more compelled to push back than ever before. They have picked the wrong chicks to mess with. Say hello to my little friend. Okay? Say hello to my little friend. They have picked the wrong chicks to mess with. Ride or die. uh, Thank you, Sonia Johnson. I keep this handy just for such an occasion. All right. Well, let me see there. Take a look at a couple of your comments here. Oh, Feminegra was on Isabella Banks' podcast last night. Good morning to all here. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. I have to check that out. Let me see here. Well, well, anything that looks like an accomplishment for the Sussexes will not be acknowledged by the British royal family. That's why they love the term non working royals, because it gives them an excuse to ignore the incredible work that they do. That's why that term is so useful to them. It gives them, and of course, the Royal Rota, the excuse to pretend to, you know, that they didn't know that the Sussexes were doing extraordinary things. Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't know that that's where that started. Okay. All right. Shall we continue? Wait, did I miss something? I got to get these chicks out of here. Say goodbye to my little friends. Closing ceremony live at Rogers Arena will be an emotional celebration of courage, resilience, and victory. Join us for this unforgettable moment as we honor all the competitors and their remarkable journeys. It's an experience you'll never forget. Get your tickets now via the bio or below, via our bio or below, and be part of this epic celebration. All right. Jose Andreas praises Prince Harry and Meghan Markle for volunteering during wildfires. They show up. Now, I shared an article yesterday from People Magazine almost as soon as it came out. Well, here today, yet another magazine is sharing Chef Andreas's words. Um, so far, I've only seen two online magazines that have, quoted Chef Andreas, but I do hope more people will come forward and support the Sussexes. I really do hope that more people will publicly, well, more well known people, will publicly acknowledge their accomplishments and also, say some positive things about their character because it's probably going to be I don't know how much longer, but maybe the next month or so, they're going to be doing this really heavy push to disparage the Sussexes. So I'm hoping that more people like Chef Andreas will speak up. Celebrity Chef Andreas praise. Well, anyway, we talked about that already with the People Magazine article. Uh, Oh yeah. Yeah, I what I thought was crazy was what is it? Mark Zuckerberg? Zuckerberg, did he go on oh gosh, Joe Rogan and admit that they were, or should I say not just admit, but well, I guess yeah, well anyway. But I'll say this. He insinuated that he was forced to suppress certain things by the Biden administration. Is that what he said? I didn't watch the interview, but I think I saw like a little clip of it. But his face is weird and I can't stand it. So I don't really look at him that much. But yeah, something to the effect that the Facebook was encouraged by the feds to not talk about. Well, I know with the pandemic, both Twitter and Facebook, they told them don't put that misinformation out there because it can hurt people. And let's face it, as a consequence, some people died because of misinformation during the global pandemic. That did happen. Oh, so it was Joe Rogan. Legs, I don't know why I'm feeling like you should have your own platform because you're super super intelligent and you know so much of what's going on, and gosh, we could use more voices here as Sussex friendly spaces. I hope you'll make that happen one day. We'll support you. Think about it. Zandy Sussex says, oh yeah, you guys, this is right in line with the conversation. And I do apologize if you guys are feeling anxious because of the mention of the uh, Vanity Fair article, but um, there is kind of like the start of the new campaign by those people. So just so as we're aware of it. I think that's important. But yeah, the bots are out in full force, spamming our timelines with bile. Don't forget to set aside a few minutes each day to remove their bile from your tweets. They can try, but they will never shut us up. The mission continues. And right there, you can see a quote. When a toxic person can no longer control you, they will try to control how others see you. And that's exactly what's happening. That is exactly what's happening. They're trying to change the way people see Harry and Meghan. Despite all of the positive images, the positive words, the kind acts, in spite of all of that, they want us to have some subliminal response where you see the Sussexes and you think negative. The only way to change that is to reinforce positive things. That's the only way to defeat that. And of course, sometimes you need to go after the people that are creating these negative um, stories and articles and all of that stuff. You got to go after those people. They have to be exposed. Uh, well, so long as you know that we're we're here for you, whatever you do. Let's see. I was working at Facebook when the insurrection happened. The whole point of banning Trump and the fact checking was because people organized and mobilized largely in part via social media like Facebook. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, there you go. There you go. Thank you for sharing us with that with us. Helen Marmon says, remember all, Maya Angelou once said, every time storms run out of rain, right? That's a quote from Maya Angelou. Every time storms run out of rain, still I rise, still I rise. uh, let's see. Rickwell's son says Arbiter and Tammany think Vanity Fair articles support their lies. Well, okay. I'm not going to read it though. But thank you for sharing that. I mean, I just have to take your word for it because I'm not going to read it. I am, there. Let me tell you guys something. Do you know how many times in the past week people on Twitter that I have used for reference and some I have not, they have canceled their subscription to Vanity Fair. There were a lot of people who loved Vanity Fair until this article. A lot of people canceled their subscriptions. I didn't know so many people in the Sussex squad had Vanity Fair subscriptions, but a lot of people canceled their subscriptions to Vanity Fair. There are people that are pissed about this article. And in spite of that, I'm not tempted to look at it because if it's anything like those other two, I feel like I've already read it. You understand what I'm saying? It is totally rehashed nonsense. Based on reports, it's a little of this, a little of that. You cobble it all together, right? You pour a little olive oil and then you mix it and you grill it on a low flame. And what do you get out of it? The same article from the New York Post and the same article from the Hollywood Reporter. So, in other words, don't even bother because we already know. And that's too bad because I liked Vanity Fair. I really did. But for some reason, they have gone over to the dark side. Why would they do that? Why? Vanity Fair, a great American magazine, has gone to the dark side. I think that's why this has, and pardon my pun, but this is why this has legs because there were a lot of people who trusted Vanity Fair. And now Vanity Fair has gone rogue. Lex says British royal family is playing the long game with the US media. Remember, the US media response was positive after the Oprah interview. Now it's neutral. British royal family needs it negative. Thank you very much, Lex. And that's true. At first, um, there was this huge outpouring of support for Harry and Meghan, and they have chipped away at that day after day after day, right? And of course, with the archetypes to a lesser extent, but still, there was more support for the Sussexes and Spare. That was a huge contribution to very Sussex positive feelings. And then, of course, Endgame. Endgame was not so much, um, embraced here in the US, but still there were some people who knew of it. And that, I even have the articles to back this up. After Endgame came out, after the exposure of two senior members of the royal family as being racist, all of a sudden they were underwater. Do you remember that? They were underwater. The support for that institution was about 48% for the first time. 48%. And after that, cancer. After that 48%, two cases of cancer just came out of nowhere. Yep, two cases of cancer came out of nowhere to change the narrative. Thank you, Legs. How many pieces of silver was flipping the cut? Oh, yeah. The cut. Yes, you know what? I almost forgot about that. Thank you for the super chat. The Cut magazine. The Cut magazine. They turned rogue. You see that? They seem to target the formerly supportive, or at least fair, magazines. It seems like they just go after them one after the other. Do you see the trend? Why is the Hollywood Reporter saying anything about the Sussexes, let alone going after Meghan? The Hollywood Reporter? It's not like Meghan made a movie or something. She didn't have any recent projects that they needed to go after her, but they just chose to do it. They were carrying the water for the British royal family. It's not even a royal gossip magazine. And yet, they went after the Sussexes. Great point, Legs. Great point. See what I mean? Shelley L. says Rupert owns News Corp, the parent company of Condé Nast, which publishes Vanity Fair. Wait, Rupert Murdoch owns News Corp, the parent company of Condé Nast. Is it Condé West? Now, Condé West, I don't know what that is. Condé Nast, they're the ones that are Vogue magazine. So, are those two different companies or what? Condé West, Condé Nast? Oh, anyway, thank you so much for the super chat. Could you imagine how much money it takes to turn a continually pay for negative headlines for two individuals? It is why KP Willie won't release his spending. Oh, thank you, Legs. You get a bail for that anyway. I think that the folks, well, for the Vanity Fair, they just said that Katie Nichols is from the Daily Mail and from the Sun. So if Katie Nichols, even if it is a pro Sussex magazine, if you have those British tabloid media people on the team, they're going to have some influence. Even if they are pro Sussex, they will have some influence. I mean, let's face it, the New York Times has let us down, and they have had some very pro Sussex articles, and then they have some where you're just like, wait a minute, aren't you the New York Times? Oh, okay, Condé Nast. Okay, thank you. So if that is the case, how is it that what's her name? My birthday twin, Anna Wintour. How is it they have not managed to flip Anna Wintour? Because Anna Wintour seems to have the sweetheart deal with the Vogue magazine. So they have not seemed to have gotten to her, because I would think they would just say, listen, Anna, we want the mail order bride on the cover of the Vogue magazine as soon as possible. We want that mail order bride on the cover of Vogue magazine. So as long as Anna Wintour has been there, they have not put her on that cover since they went to the White House. Now, before, yeah, but not since. So, anyway, but thank you so much. I did not know that. Yeah, she's a Scorpio. I wouldn't mess with her either. All right, Edward and Sophie. Little change of pace here. Edward and Sophie were the Harry and Meghan of their day, but after their private careers became a well publicized disaster, they rejoined the family and knuckled down to turn the public view of them around. Could the Sussexes now follow their lead? Now, this was written by that idiot Cameron Roy, who, anyway, I'm not even going to go into all of that, but he has written some doozies, okay? And he is very much a revisionist. He will go back and take another look at things and turn it into something that it never was. So now he's painting this almost Pygmalion like existence for Edwina and Sophie. There is no comparison. There is no comparison. Sophie had some kind of PR firm that she ran into the ground. She had that disaster where one of those phony sheiks or sheikhs came to her and got her to spill all kind of tea about the royal family. And anyway, she knuckled under and went under the umbrella of the Windsor clan and has stayed there ever since, hiding in the shadows like a little mouse, rarely coming out with anything significant. The big coup for her was riding the church with the Queen. And as for Edwina, as for Eddie, he tried to be a television producer, television show content creator. You know, he tried, and he did some great documentaries about his family's properties, right? He did some great documentaries, but aside from that, he was an absolute failure. I mean, everything he touched was a disaster, a failure. He couldn't even finish his military service. And yet now they want to frame him and that broad that he's with as having achieved something. The only thing that they have in life is Prince Edward's birthright. That is what keeps them afloat, is her husband's birthright. They are taking handouts from that institution. And that's why every time you see Sophie and William, Sophie's, oh, William, you're so witty. Oh, William, that's just the most clever thing. Right? Every time you see them at some function, she eventually corners William and get all up in his face. William, you just, oh, I love your bald head. Has she no dignity? Has she no self-respect? That's the best she could do. She has to corner William and try to amuse him in some kind of way. If they're out on the balcony, she's the last one to come in. right? Oh, William, is she going to get a draft on that bald head? That's what she does. Someone who I would have respected as a entrepreneur, as a business person, businesswoman, now she has degraded herself to the point where she's um, well, kissing William's behind, hoping that they can pass that title of theirs on to their son. That's what they're hoping for. That's all she has. She literally has to sing for her supper. She has no choices left in life. The only choice she has is to do what they tell her to do. If they say go to Timbuktu, guess what she gonna do? Grab her toothbrush and some jumpsuits, and she gonna go to Timbuktu because she got to do what they tell her to do. She has no choice. Yep, she belongs to that institution, and they own her lock, stock, and barrel. If I ever witnessed her sitting up there playing patty cakes with William, trying to get some kind of favor, you know what I would tell her?
Hey, girl, sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
Yeah, that's what she needs to do is sit down. Yeah, that is a great point. They are very much damaged by their own actions. They are. They are imploding because of their ineptitude. They are just they are collapsing under their own weight. I do believe that. They are collapsing under their own weight. And you might even argue that they're trying to take the Sussexes with them. Cookies and cream, you just got here? Thank you so much. No comparison. Whatever Harry and Meghan do, they're the ones that are copying the Sussexes. They're the ones that are trying to mimic everything the Sussexes do. Harry and Meghan coordinate their outfits. What do you know? Edwina and Sophie coordinate, right? See how Harry's lining of his suit matches Meghan's outfit? Well, what do you know? We already know that Edwina loves to wear um, that maxi coat, right? Look at there. Look at there. Notice the red lining in the maxi coat, right? So Edwina got the bright idea, you know what? That oversized suit that I wear, why don't I have them put the red lining in that suit? So that way I could look just like my nephew. And that's just what he did. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll take a look at that. Thank you. All right. Let me see. Oh, yeah, yeah. Here's another thing. One thing you could say about Harry and Meghan, they won't have to walk behind the likes of Kitty and Willie for the rest of their lives. They will not have to walk behind those two. Look at Sophie with her dignity barely intact. You see there? She is so embarrassed that she is going to spend the rest of her days walking behind Kitty. She has no choice. She put on her ugliest green dress and whichever tiara that they decide she can wear, and she just has to go out there. But what about that time when we caught her glaring sadly at Kate? You see the reflection of Kate in the mirror? We wouldn't have known what she was doing. She looked so sad that day. But there she is, admiring Kate's ability to do absolutely nothing, to know nothing, do nothing, and not even say anything. But she's the most important person in the room. Whereas an almost self made woman like Sophie, almost self made, owned her own business, married a Windsor. Uh, that almost slipped. Married a Windsor. Yeah, she married a Windsor. Or, okay. Now, need I say more? uh, what am I missing here? Oh, yeah, she did, didn't she? She sure did do that. And then, of course, Meghan doesn't have to go around wearing that ridiculous blue jumpsuit. You know, the one that she slipped over her somewhat skipper shaped body. I just feel like when you're a certain age and you have that dumpy little shape like Sophie, you should not wear blue jumpsuits because when she turned sideways, she looked just like Skipper from Gilligan's Island. See there? She kind of shaped like she kind of shaped like Skipper. Now sit right back and we hear the tale of a faithful ship that started from this tropic port aboard this tiny ship. Anyway, when she turned sideways in that jumpsuit, I just kept seeing what's his name? Hal Williams. I kept seeing Skipper. That's not a good look for her. To go to Royal Ascot looking like Skipper. Who does that? Now, I don't mean to make fun of that middle-aged white man shape of hers, but she the one went to Royal Ascot looking like Skipper. Not me. I didn't make her do it. That was a choice she made of her own volition. So nobody forced her to do that. That was her choice. Also, not only has she channeled Skipper, but she has channeled the Crackerjack boy. She has literally revised. Yes, time for Teletubby. Bye bye. That Teletubby jumpsuit. Yes, Teletubby. It's amazing. No single article of apparel has ever invoked so many different looks all at the same time. And wait, we're not even done yet because not only has she invoked the spirit of Skipper from Gilligan's Island, not only has she brought in the Crackerjack boy, but Teletubby and Gumby. She has channeled Teletubbies, Gumby, the Crackerjack boy, and Skipper from Gilligan's Island. No outfit. You know what? Maybe she's a genius. Maybe we don't see it right. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we just don't see how genius this is. That one little short, dumpy woman with that unfortunate middle aged, dumpy white man build has managed to channel the Skipper from Gilligan's Island, the Crackerjack boy, Gumby, and now we find out Teletubby. Is there any limit to her talent? Is there any limit to the looks that one can get from a single outfit? When I first saw it, I thought, what a very odd thing to wear. But now I can see the complexities. I can see the complexities of that garment. And I hate to say it, but I'm somewhat impressed because I did not know you can get 4 or 5 looks out of one outfit. So what could I say? I was wrong and she was right. Also, I doubt if you'll ever see the Duchess of Sussex wearing a hat that looks like dog droppings, right? You will never see a hat that looked like the Queen instructed a footman to go pick up some corgi poo and put it in a plastic bag, tie it in a big knot, and then you just hand it to the newly minted Duchess of Edinburgh. Yeah. The exact manufacturer of Sophie's hat is unknown. And until I know better, I'm just going to assume that she is wearing what appears to be a bag full of doggy doo. Until somebody tells me better, that's a bag full of doggy doo. Also, note discernible skills, bankrupt company, 1.7 million unpaid debt, married ex Perching, whatever that. Ed, I mean, what is it? Ed? No, not X. Ed. Well, anyway, and then total non-entity award third class. Thanks, mom. Whatever. Well, as we talked about Edwina's awards yesterday. Let me see. Where is that at? There we go. That's better. That's better. We don't even know how he managed to get those awards. But I think just showing up, being born into that family was probably enough. Or, in spite of all of these negative articles about the Duchess of Sussex, you will never see her chastising, verbally attacking the royal protection officer, as Sophie has done, probably on several occasions, allegedly. But as you can see, that's what she thinks of the royal protection. She publicly gets in their face. I mean, she's so angry she had to take her sunglasses off to make sure that she bristled at him, squinting her eyes, frothing at the mouth. Yeah, that's the real Sophie. The same one who sat with that fake sheik and said all those negative things about the royal family. That's the real Sophie, not Harry and Meghan. And time will tell, but I really, really find it hard to believe that Harry and Meghan will ever have to go to a wedding where their child marries a comic book character. I repeat, I doubt if the Sussexes' children are going to marry a comic book character. Yes, Alfred E. Newman of Mad Magazine is going to marry into the British royal family. Who saw that coming? So here's a nice little puffy article. Robert Hardman, other dukes pushed their own agendas. Edward's a spare who just gets on with it. Well, you know what? He ain't got no money. He better get on with it. If it was up to him to make a living to sustain himself and his family, they'd end up right back where they are anyway. He already tried that and failed. She tried it and failed. The Sussexes, they are only getting stronger by the day. No comparison. And poor Sophie has to slowly watch her husband channel none other than Anthony Perkins in the Psycho trilogy. But yeah, I mean, every day she has to watch her husband get weirder by the day, slowly turn, except for the hair, of course, slowly turning into Anthony Perkins. Does she even feel safe? I don't know. Glad that ain't my neighbor. And then, of course, as you can tell, don't ask me how I got these x-rays. But as you can tell, there is a regal, slim, beautiful princess of the realm. And then there's that dumpy, kind of like a truck driver or longshoreman or something frame. Now, I don't have to tell you which frame is which. You can just tell from their posture, from their very regal stance. You can tell which is which. Now, I'm not supposed to have these, so don't rat me out. But you can see there's a difference. If you had to say, who was born to be a princess, right? Who was born to be a princess? Would you choose the x-ray on the left or the x-ray on the right? The one on the right side looks like a cook in a kitchen of a country estate, not a member of a prestigious family. That's what she was hiding when she married into that family. I don't know how she was able to conceal that very unfortunate posture, but somehow she did. So somehow she managed to hide that from the British royal family. And it's unfortunate. She's not even supposed to be there. That is not very regal. That is not royal. There is nothing aristocratic about that unfortunate posture. But somehow she has managed to slide her way in there. She has managed to elude detection and make her way in there. That's right. Skipper, Teletubby, Crackerjack Boy, and who else was it? Oh, too much, too much. Anyway, I'm just about done, you guys. But yes, Harry and Meghan will be here. We got their back. And yes, the easiest thing you can do, and probably the most effective thing you can do, is extend your prayers for their safety and, of course, for their continued success. So I will do that. I hope you all would do the same. And as Cookies and Cream would say, pray for each other and for the Sussexes. Don't peg and hydrate. Yeah, don't peg and hydrate. I love that picture right there. What a handsome couple. What an absolutely handsome couple. Anyway, that's it for today. Wow, I did not mean to go 2 hours, but we are going to get out of here before I think of something else to say. Don't read the article in the Vanity Fair. It is garbage. Do not even be tempted. Remember, it's just a bunch of old details rearranged, recycled, regurgitated, and it does nothing to help the Sussexes. So just ignore it. Also, there's going to be the usual campaign coming up because of I guess maybe 2024 was so big that they have determined at that institution to reclaim their status, right? That's what I'm thinking, is that whatever is happening now is probably an indication of more to come. Um, because, well, let's face it, that institution took a terrible hit last year, and it really started with the end game and just continued to roll into 2024. Um, but whatever the case may be, we have to be prepared to push back, right? And try not to share those negative articles and stuff. Um, if at all possible, be careful, because a lot of people thought Vanity Fair was going to be a positive article, and it wasn't. That's the other thing that upset people, is they thought it was going to be a great article about the Sussexes, and it was not. It was a hatchet job. So, um, yeah. All right. That is a good question. If only there was better media literacy in this country, where people would be able to discern the use of those types of tactics and articles. But for the most part, it seems like people just believe everything they read, which is really sad. Thank you, Beverly McCaskill says, stay safe, stay blessed, stay hydrated. No bad energy. Thank you very much. Hello, Ivy here. Just taking a few seconds to say hi to everyone. Stay blessed, everyone. Thank you so much, Ivy of Sussex Global UK. And thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. Anyway, good night, all, or good morning. I will see y'all next time. No 8-hour marathon tonight, although it is tempting. It is tempting, but no 8-hour marathon tonight. Wasn't that fun? Wasn't that fun? It was just amazing. You guys, if you have a membership, don't forget there's a new 8-hour marathon, Royal Sussex. What great conversation. I mean, we literally could have got someone through their whole workday, almost 8 hours of conversation. And Legs wasn't there in the beginning, but they were like, "Where's Legs?" I said, he'll be here. Don't worry, he'll be here." And what happened? Legs showed up at just the right time. So it was really, really good. I enjoyed last night so much. Okay. Good night, y'all.